Hey creators, welcome to Amber Frequency. Welcome home to your creatorship. I wanted to come on here because I just had kind of an epiphany that I realized that I have been doing for a long time, and I wanted to share it. So if you are in a space where it feels heavy and like you can't control your thoughts, you know that if you've been watching me at all, you know that on this channel we talk about everything manifestation, but really it's manifesting from the fact that you are everything, that there is no manifesting that you need to do. You're already doing it all the time. It's just realizing like how powerful you actually are in every moment. So what is happening when you start to spiral and you have thoughts that come up that you can't handle, and how do you deal with that? How do you face that? How do you shift that? And when you try to do it, the problem, or not the problem, but what ends up happening is you push and push and push, and you actually make it bigger, and it can take over your entire nervous system. And so we talk a lot about nervous system regulation. It's super important because things are not going to move in the way that you want them to until you can get regulated. So when heightened emotions happen or things happen that feel a little bit uncertain, or you're scared of something or whatever, that's kind of what we're talking about today. So I'm not talking about when you sort of have some negative thoughts and you're like, oh, I don't really know what's going to happen, I'm feeling a little anxious. I'm talking about like full blown, you have already lost control. So there's other videos when you're on, where you're sort of teetering. This is like, I am literally in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, right? Your nervous system is completely shut down. Probably a little bit more so for people who are in like the freeze mode, where there's like, it seems like nothing is going to work and you don't actually have a lot of mental capacity. So that's kind of where we're at and what I want to talk about. And if you've had this experience, or if you're in it right now, you are not alone. And this is a perfectly normal body response to something that it feels is unsafe. And so your body's really trying to keep you safe. So our job is to tell your body in this moment that it's safe. And it's not going to work with words. So a few different things that you can do is, if you're in the middle of that mode, there's a lot of things you can look up online. I'm not talking about like little things like movements and stuff like that. Look that up. That's if you're full on freeze and you can't even think straight, look up some of the small movements and things that you can do. I'm talking about from a manifestational perspective. What should you do with all of this heavy energy, right? So it's in you and you feel like you just can't function. This is going to take willpower. This is mind over matter moment, right? Because what you need to do is get away from everyone, be completely alone in a safe space where you could literally scream if you need to. And into a pillow is fine, but just make sure that nobody's going to be interrupting you, that you're not going to be dealing with anything else, but just yourself. And I want you to actually consider what you've already been doing, the worst case scenario. But don't consider it like, oh, I'm afraid of this. I want you to accept, because you are a creator of infinite realities. You need to accept that this reality exists. Somewhere in the quantum field, there's a reality that matches this fear, this frequency that you are literally ruminating on, that is creating this, right? And maybe it's something that you're already experiencing. That's fine. But a lot of times these experiences of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn come from something a very long time ago. And maybe you're going through a breakup. Maybe you lost your job, right? So it's more like actually looking at the specific thing. What does that mean that I'm going through a breakup? What does it mean that I lost my job? What does it mean? And you're making it mean something that is literally shutting you down because you don't feel safe. So your body thinks it literally means death. And you need to realize that you're not going to die, okay? That's what we're doing. And you're releasing all of this energy that's inside of you. It's scary, maybe, because from a manifestational perspective, it seems completely backwards. But you are manifesting more of this right now by holding on to all these feelings, but you've already got so much momentum that your body is not able to regulate itself. So we need to get out of this energy. And the only way to do that, or not the only way, but one way that is literally a cheat code that will turn your whole everything that's happening will turn around. And I'm not saying that you'll get your job back or that the person will come back. Maybe that'll happen, but you lost your job for a reason. You lost that person for a reason. And maybe the reason is that you were so negatively focused, right, on things that you didn't have, on lack, whatever, that you ended up losing something that you actually really wanted. That's possible. And that you can regulate your nervous system, and possibly they'll come back, but they'll come back correct, and so will you, because you'll be managing your nervous system. So when you're in that space and you're in a space where you can actually scream, I'm going to take my earrings out. They're bugging me. If you are in a space where you can like scream it out and really like be completely authentically you and just let it out without any fear, I want you to actually consider that worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, whatever the meaning is of whatever happened. So if you lost your job, what's the worst case scenario? Say it out loud. Okay, and then what? Say it out loud. And then what? And then what does that mean? Like, keep going all the way down and literally take yourself to the end of the feeling. What is the worst case scenario? I will lose this relationship. I will lose all of the beautiful things. I will never experience this love. I will never have this again. And it's going to be hard, but you need to get there. Accept it all. Worst case scenario, I would have literally nothing left. I would be alone for the rest of my life. I would never find anybody that would be as good as this person. I would never be happy again. I would never have a wonderful relationship again. You know, like I know it sounds counterintuitive, but I'm telling you, this actually works because it turns you around, because you can accept. So when you get to that place where you just freaking scream it out, and if you are actually letting yourself go there, if you really let yourself go there, you probably will need to release a lot of energy, and it will either be in literally bawling your eyes out, let it out. Do you want the life of your dreams? Do you want the relationship or the job or the money or the car? Like all the stuff that we want, we don't actually, it's not the thing, it's the feeling that we want. So you're so focused on this not having something that you want. So you got to get this energy out. Scream it out. Once you get to the point where you actually scream and you let it out and you actually surrender, you might even scream for a long time. But if you really surrender, it'll be short. If you really surrender, it won't take very long. Okay, it will be over soon. And you let all of that out. And then once you've kind of stabilized in all of that, accept that reality exists, right? That's what you're doing. Now I have experienced that reality, right? Now I've experienced it. I know what that feels like. It can't feel worse than that. Is that true? It cannot feel worse than that. Are you still alive? Are you safe? So now you tell yourself that's the worst it could get. So it will only get better from here. It'll only get better from here. And that starts to be your mantra. It can only get better from here. It can only get better from here. And in every moment, even if you're satisfied, I'm eager for more. Abraham Hicks, I'm satisfied and eager for more. It can only get better from here. It's the same thing. But when you're in that really dark, deep place, it's hard to hear, I'm satisfied. Because you're not. You're lying. So, now you realize it can only get better from here. You start to talk to yourself and say, is it actually true that I will, let's say that it is the relationship thing, that I will never meet anybody again. Is it actually true that I'll never find fulfillment in any other area of my life? Is it actually true that this is going to kill me? Or is this just my nervous system reacting? Is it possible that maybe there's somebody else out there better for me than that person? Is it possible that maybe that person will actually come back to me once I regulate my nervous system? Is it possible that that dream job wasn't the job that you had? Is it possible that you're not going to be homeless on the street because you lost that job? Is it possible that just because you're in a state of lack doesn't mean that you can't find abundance? Everything is two sides of the same coin. It's all here now. Everything. So if all possibilities exist and you just experienced the worst possibility of this situation, it can only get better from here, and you're safe. You're safe. You experienced it, right? So let me just ground this into you. You experienced it in your body and nothing happened. Nothing happened. You were just experiencing it. So now you've released that experience and you say thank you. And you start to feel the peace of finally accepting that that is a reality out there somewhere, but it doesn't have to be the one that I experience anymore. I've already experienced it. I'm good with that now. Now I can shift and start moving away from this like super heavy feeling and actually work on regulating my nervous system. Because regulating your nervous system does not work when you're ruminating. This is for people who have let it go too far. And there's nothing wrong with that. I am one of them. I've been there in the dank darkness of my soul where I literally feel like I can't survive this. I don't want to live anymore. There's no point in that. I've been there. So it's realizing you're actually safe. You have four walls around you, a roof, or maybe you're in the car, or maybe you're outside. Go outside in nature. Whatever it is, you're safe. And it's quiet now because you released a lot of energy. So I think I'm going to do a video about, maybe a guided nervous system reset for when you have literally fallen into that trench. Hopefully you don't have to listen to it very often, because the goal is not to listen to that. The goal is to help you release that stuff for good, right? Once you experience it and you realize that you're safe, it actually will reestablish your baseline. I'm not talking about reprogramming subconscious thoughts. I don't even want to speak on that, but I do want to say that if you do this, your nervous system will realize that you are actually safe if you show it safety after. So when you look around, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that method of name 5 things you can see. I know it sounds silly. Do it. You've had this big release. Now you need to refill your body with you. With you. You need to get back into your body. So 5 things you can see, 4 things that you can touch, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. And if you're in the car, I don't care. Get out of the car, go find something and smell it. It's not saying, oh, I could smell that rose over there. No. Go smell that rose. You are activating your senses, not just talking about your senses. Does that make sense? So you want to do this correctly so you actually get into your body. And then as you do all these things, your consciousness grounds into itself and fills up the empty space that you just released. And then you can start actually having some clear thoughts about this. You can face whatever you need to face. You can journal. You can, whatever it is can be handled from a place of safety. And we'll talk a lot more about different ways to regulate your nervous system, but this is very specific to someone who has literally fallen off the cliff and can't find a way out. You get to the place where you realize that you're safe, you're not on a cliff, and it can only get better. And then you understand that there's going to be an echo of your consistent rumination, right? And so at this space, since you realize, because you are source, that you might have a little bit of an echo. You don't have to agree to that either, by the way, wink, wink. Maybe you don't have to have an echo. But if you do see the echo of what you've been ruminating on, some evidence of that path that you don't necessarily want to go down, when it comes up, hold yourself immediately. Okay, so let's say an easy one for me to talk about is a relationship, because that can go back and forth. So let's say that you're in separation from your person that maybe you think that that's the person you want to be with, and maybe they're in like a third party situation, and you are like constantly like, there's no third party, it's just me, and it's just me and him, and you ruminate over this, and you think about it, and it takes you over. You go down the road of everything that could happen, and you accept it. You accept this possibility, and you release it all the way. And then later that day, or the next morning, or whatever this is that it happens, there will be an echo of what was happening. And so you need to understand and know that consciously. Stay conscious. Anytime you start to feel anything, remember, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get your senses involved and stay conscious. And when you look around and you get yourself back in your body, you know this is just an echo from where I was at, from what I was ruminating on. Because everything is me pushed out. So it's a little bit of an echo, right? It's like a ripple, but the ripples go away. They're gone. They reach the shore. If they're not reaching any other obstacles, then the water settles, right? And the calm comes, and that's when manifestation can flow really easy. So stay there. When the echoes come, don't make them mean anything, and don't be attached. You don't need to be attached, because you already experienced the worst reality ever. So let it go. Everything's going to be better than that, and you're still here, and you're alive, and you're healthy, and you're safe. Your mind is the only thing that's convincing you anything else. So move forward knowing your wholeness is here, and everything around you will shift. And I'm not saying that the job will come back or the person will come back. Maybe they will. That's a miracle. This is how you make miracles. That person will come back, or somebody else will come, just blow your mind, and that person will not even be on your mind. They will literally be so incredible that you can't even understand why you were trying to manifest that other person or that job to come back, or maybe even a job that you thought you wanted that you didn't get. Like, there's so many things that could happen, but it's like you've already experienced the worst, is my point, and you're on your way to something much better than what you thought. And then you can work towards conscious manifestation, which is focusing on what you really want and choosing. In this moment, I choose love, wealth, prosperity in every area of my life. I choose family, connectedness, friendship. I choose joy and peace. I choose to be with people who make me feel good and uplifted. I choose to be someone who makes people feel good and uplifted. All of it. I choose it all. That's where you're at. In this moment, you're choosing that. And just because there's echoes of other things that might come in, that's not your reality anymore, because you've already, I mean, it's your reality. You can accept it. It's there. Okay. Well, that doesn't mean anything about where I'm going. I will say one more thing. Anything that you observe, so if you do observe those echoes, my point is, don't observe them with feeling. Just observe them. You may have to deal with something that you don't like. Don't observe it with feeling. But when you observe something that you do prefer, that's when you want to observe it with feeling. Okay, I love you. Have a wonderful day. And thank you for watching my videos. Like, subscribe, share. And please, thank you so much for supporting my channel. And this is really a new passion project, and I really am excited to be here. So if you want to work with me, my link is in the description. Okay, bye.